Okay, here we are again. A little update since we talked last. Barb fell about 3 weeks ago
A
and
month. A month today.
broke her ankle in two places. So you can see her chair here she's sitting in. She can't walk or put any pressure on her leg yet. So we'll go to the doctor in a few days, see if that will be improved enough that she can start walking, hopefully so. But anyway, it's been a interesting month, and if she wants to tell you anything about that.
No, other than to say, Tom Suter has been the most awesome servant, better than I ever thought he was. I just can't imagine how he has served me, and he's not complained or fussed. Things he's done for me that, because I can't, the first week I couldn't do barely anything myself because of the pain and getting used to the boot. But it's just been, he told somebody, we had a party the other night at our house, and it was for all, they were seniors because it was a birthday, it was the June birthday month. And he told them, he said, Barb and I are closer. We've gotten real close. He said, so if you need to get closer, one of you needs to break a leg. But we don't advise that, do we? No. I don't advise that. It's been really hard, and some of you may have had broken legs in the past. But anyway, this is just another experience we've had in this 60 plus years of marriage, and how you are committed to one another. So today's topic is on quality time, and you have questions that I've sent, and we may overlap a little bit. To me, this is, if I had to pick the most important love language, and I don't even think I can do that, but this is one I think everybody needs to speak, whether it's your major love language or not. Don't you, Tom?
Yeah, it's very important that, and the emphasis is not on time, but on the word quality, which means that both parties, husband and wife, receive something that is significant, has quality to it. And so quality time benefits both the husband and wife in their relationship. It's not just about one, it's about both.
And even though it says quality time, and the first language was words of affirmation, and that's speaking, and but words of affirmation is what I'm saying, what you're saying. But quality time means, what am I hearing you say? When you spend time together, whether you're walking, you're never saying a word, but what do I hear you saying? What do I hear you saying about loving me or needing me or wanting me? So Tom used to tell this little...
Well, it's a story. I don't know if it's true, probably is true, that a man was told by his wife, she said, honey, you don't tell me that you love me. I seldom hear you say that.
No, I never.
Yeah. And he said, well, I told you that when we married, and if I change my mind, I'll let you know.
So wouldn't that be awful if your spouse never told you he or she loved you? So it's important that we voice those words, and that's in words of affirmation or just, different, just conversation. But quality time, we couldn't have quality time if we couldn't speak it. I mean, I don't, is that true? But
well, certainly words are involved in quality time. Sometimes words are not necessary. Depends on what you're doing. If you're enjoying a walk in a scenic area, and maybe a few words is all that's necessary. But if you're just sitting in your home in familiar surroundings and you're being open with one another, certainly words are vital. You can't have quality time without a conversation.
so when we I had to learn to share. I mean, I know you know that I talk. Those who know me, I talk a lot, don't I, Tom?
Sometimes you talk too much.
And we'll talk about, I don't know if we'll have time to talk about the Dead Sea personality and the babbling brook. Even though I talked, I didn't know how to share heartfelt feelings, and so I had to learn that. And Tom taught me, and I think I had to learn it because some of you know or may have said, my mother called me stupid most of my life, and so I didn't know, I didn't want to be called stupid, so I didn't share things, and so Tom taught me how to share by him being open and sharing. So he was more open to this, even though he's a Dead Sea. I mean, if you read that, I forget what page it's on. It's on one of your questions about the Dead Sea. Oh, yeah, on page 67. I love that, and I've forgotten those two personalities. Dead Sea, which basically doesn't let anything in or out, right?
Lets things in. I'm not,
Totally.
I don't talk as much as Barb. Both of us can't talk a lot. We'd be talking over each other. So I've learned to listen more than talk. But when I'm in the pulpit, I talk quite a bit. So I don't know. I talk when I feel like I need to.
But the idea with this Dead Sea on this side, that somebody who doesn't talk much, and the babbling brook, I like to call it a bubbling brook, just sounds better. Anyway, but we're all somewhere in between with how much we talk or how we want to share. But we have to learn, we must learn to share our feelings and our dreams and our hopes with our spouse. And that, to me, happens in quality time. Because you have to have quality conversation as well. And a lot of times when you talk about conversation, you hear look into each other's eyes, and Tom's had to learn that, right?
Yeah, often she'll say, "You're not listening to me," and I'll say, "I am listening." She said, "But you're not looking at me." So I guess she thinks if I'm not looking into her eyes that I'm not listening to her.
Okay, tell this story. We have a sweet story here. When we were in the restaurant.
Oh yeah, well.
A couple years ago, just a couple years ago.
Yeah, we went in and we put our phones aside, weren't looking in. We were sitting across from each other at a small table, and we held hands and we talked, and the waitress came and we ordered our meal and all that. Came time to pay the bill at the end of our supper time, and the waitress said it's already been paid. And we finally got the information out of her that the manager had.
No, the manager came before we left.
Yeah, he came and told us
that
he had taken care of the bill, because he said, "I've not seen a couple sit and talk to each other like you have." He said most people sit and
they're on their phones,
play with their telephone. So anyway, we had that happen, and a few weeks later, someone else bought our dinner. So I guess it's nice to go out and have meaningful quality time with each other, and sometimes people notice. It doesn't matter if they do or not, but
no, they notice. They may not pay your bill, but people notice, when you look into each other's eyes. Not only do you know that.
Yeah, it's a testimony of your relationship.
So quality time together can mean so many things. Each of you couples have different interests. You have different hobbies, and you have individual hobbies. And you don't have quality time. Does not mean doing everything together. It means
what you do together is together. Yeah.
Yes. So and you need to have the freedom to, I think, do whatever Tom used to golf. I've never golfed in my life. That was his interest. But we like to hike together, and we like to work in the garden together. And when the kids were little, we did things together. And for you who have children, we always encouraged a couple to get away.
A couple of times a year, maybe more, and let someone else take care of the children, a mother-in-law or a mother or a friend or a neighbor or whatever, but for a day or two to get away and just enjoy each other and spend time. It's like falling in love all over again. You need those times where you can be just together. That's quality time.
Right. And then we used to tell couples, you need to fall in love once or twice a year again. And I think that's one of our secrets, maybe. Secrets is, I just we deliberately tried to make those times to fall in love again. And even though you didn't fall out of love, it was just important. So whatever you do together can be quality time. When you listen, it's how you share your emotions and how you feel, and there are a lot of times when you don't have to say a word to share because and we've had some of those. Even though I talk a lot, there are lots of times I'm quiet. Or not, honey.
When you're sleeping.
Tom.
I don't know if you saw the movie Avatar.
Yeah.
But in the movie, I've forgotten the couple's names.
Well, I think it's Jake and Neytiri.
But anyway, in one of their intimate scenes, I don't know if she said it or he says it, but they look at each other and one says to the other, "I see you." And they were really saying, I'm connected to you. I can communicate with you. I see into your heart. I see into your soul. And to me, that's what intimacy is. We have often defined the term intimacy as into me see. And that cannot happen unless you're willing to open up and share what's inside your heart. And when you do that, you are having those intimate moments. That's, to us, is quality time when we open our hearts with each other, we share, we look at each other, we have that emotional connection as well as word connection. And I think that's part of quality time.
And one of them, that's a romantic moment for me. Sometimes when, I may be dressed up and look nice, or I may not. I may be in my work clothes when I could work outside. And he looks at me and he says, "I see you." And that just means, I don't know, it's just very special to know somebody sees you. They see into your heart. They love you for who you are. And it's a very special moment. And and I wrote in one of your discussion questions about into me see. And I forget, let me see what I said about that for you. Into me see. How do you feel knowing your husband or wife sees your very heart, sees right inside of you? But we've been doing this 60 years. Some of you have only been, I know Chris and Nilda, just a little over a year. So it's a beautiful life ahead as you learn to see each other, really see them and know them. And you do it by spending time together, doing things, but listening to each other, but sharing, being able to share how you feel. And sometimes we'll overlap probably some of these things because, marriage overlaps. These gifts overlap, I think. And so
maybe you've heard the term soulmate, and it really means that you connect on a deeper level with someone. Your soul is your inner personality and who you are. And there should be no hidden part of your life, your soul, with your mate. You should be able to share your deepest feelings, emotions, thoughts with each other. And we do that, but probably not enough. I don't know that for Barb it's never enough, I guess. But anyway, that gives you some idea of what we're talking about. And the book is very helpful. If you read those pages, you'll get some more insight into how to communicate with each other as a love language.
Yes, and I've learned when Tom doesn't want to talk, and that's perfectly fine, and I'm quiet then, and so it's okay not to talk when depending on your personality and how things work for you. You have to know. And there's one sentence that I think we did on one of the first pages. I feel most loved. And you can think of that in light of this love gift, a love language. I feel most loved. And you can, whatever you feel most loved, will tell a little bit about emotions or how you are connecting together. I think I answer that I feel most loved when Tom looks into my eyes. And just, and we're walking quietly together or whatever. But then there are some nights we play Scrabble or bananagrams, and those can be intimate moments. Most of the time they're not. They're just a fun way to spend time together. So, but I like intimacy. So, and your last question I'd ask, I think of if you can share one of your most precious memories that you've had. And so we spent some time doing this. And you want to share one or two here?
Well, I mean, we've had a lot of those moments, but one that stands out, we used to like to hike in the mountains of East Tennessee, which is in meters probably, I don't know, 2,000 meters, I guess, something like that. And we've done that a number of times. And I don't know, it's just an intimate time, quality time, being together, just the two of us.
In nature, we like.
And being outdoors and helping each other through some hard places. And so that we used to go to Lilienfeld, which is not too far out of Vienna, and a little small village, and we'd take a chairlift up to the top of the mountain, and that was always fun. So,
but one of my special memories, and Nilda and Nicole will remember Chesney, and some of you may have been, but one of the first, I think it was the first time we went, we stayed in a little Airbnb over, it was, it was not a real fancy place, but the next morning they brought breakfast, because it's in a basket. They had all the little things in there for breakfast, And I just remember that as a very special morning, a very special memory that we shared together, overlooking the roofs of the buildings next door. So we have hundreds of memories.
20 minutes.
20 minutes, we're finished. It's 19. All right, just want to know quality time together must be important to you. Now, whether it's your language or not, you need to make it a priority to learn this language and speak it, or just know. I can't believe you can have a marriage without speaking all the languages. Now, you may have one you need the most, like physical touch, we'll talk about, which Tom needs. And so anyway, just know we love you. We're so excited for you, and you're on a very, very, very important journey, and we love you.
Keep learning from each other, and keep learning your mate. I'll share something maybe next time about how to do that. But anyway, until then, have a blessed evening or day, tomorrow, and the weeks to come. And we will continue to stay in touch. Okay?
Bye for now.
Bye bye.